And this is how a house dies. Not with a bang, but with the buzz of flies. Hi there. My name is Charles Ray Dawson. I'm the Associate Broker Residential Sales Manager at ProStar Realty. This is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, episode 228. And how are you guys all doing today? And here comes the first cough of the day. Serious. It only happens now. So, I hope you guys are all having a great week and stuff. I got a fun episode lined up for you. I got like four different things I want to talk about, and they're just piling on. And having made the mistake of, that'll be good to push off until next week and then forgetting about it, I'm going to hit you with it all today. So we're going to go through this hard, fast, and furious. All right. So let's start with the numbers, get those out of the way, and then I will show you what I've been up to. So our numbers this week, which for June 18th, 2025, actives this week are 25,861, up 140. Our new listings are 2121, up 62. Our contracts are also 2121, which means I have made a mistake somewhere. All right, and which is down 151. Our closings were 1,576. Coming soon to an MLS near you is 506 new listings. I'm pretty sure those numbers are accurate. So our supply right now is at 108.1. Our demand is at 78.2, giving us a Cromford report number of 72.3. Got some more Cromford report numbers to talk to you about here in a second, right after we go through our neighborhoods. As we can see, our biggest losers so far is Scottsdale and Phoenix, both at -8 under last month. All right, Fountain Hills is leading the pack at 117.6, up 2. Paradise Valley might be moving up. They're up 7 from last week. All right, so they're from 106. They're now at 113, moving into Sellers Market. All right, everybody else is falling except for Goodyear and Supplies. They are both leading, and Maricopa is still bypassed Buckeye in the 16th place. Buckeye is still falling below them, and Buckeye is at the bottom of the pack at 51.9. Our buyers markets, if you are so inclined, are going to be Cave Creek, Peoria, Goodyear, Surprise, Queen Creek, Maricopa, and Buckeye. Our sellers markets are going to be Chandler, Avondale, Paradise Valley, and Fountain Hills. All right. That might be the fastest I've ever gone through that. So, checking out the Cromford report before I hit play on this. Won't have any national news, except I heard that the Feds decided they don't want to lower the rates. So we'll keep going with that. But I heard something really fascinating that I wanted to get through. So, the rents, price per square foot. Okay, which is completely different than price per square foot when you're buying, right? It's a much, much smaller number, right? But that's what your monthly rent is going to be. Has been flat since August of 2021. So we're looking at, we're pushing into year 4 here very, very soon with no noticeable raise in rents at the price per square foot market. Now, during all of this, all right, and well, by the way, that price per square foot is an average of $1.37 a foot. Right. Meanwhile, at the same time, the CPI, okay, which is your inflation rate has actually risen by 17.8%. All right, which lowers the value of the dollar. So, in reality, rents have gone down 15%. All right, during that time period. Okay, that would be like 4 and 15, 5 and change. No, a little bit, about 3.7 something or other. Okay, so rents have actually gone down. You just don't feel it, right? Because you're paying in today's dollars. All right, but today's dollars are worth less. So hopefully you've been getting a raise, right? That was actually a shocking number, 17.8% over the last 4 years. Like that's quite a loss of purchasing value for regular Americans. Meanwhile, during the same time and stuff, okay, houses, the median sales price for a house has gone up from 400 to 400,000. All right, median household sale price to 450. But when you calculate in that 17.8 CPI, they've actually dropped 4.5% in purchasing value. Right. So if you've got people out there and they go, well, we're waiting for the crash, we might have already seen it. And the reason why you're really not seeing it is because it's the value of the dollar, all right, is worth less. So the prices are reflecting that, almost if like we had a real estate standard for the dollar as opposed to a gold standard. That would be interesting. That would be a real... Okay, yeah, sorry, browser window just popped open in my mind trying to figure out exactly how you do something like that, since, all land is different in value. And that brings me to our immediate next conversation, the things I've seen and heard and smelled this week. All right, there is a good client of mine. He's been working with me, and I've been working with him from way back. All right, first met him through the local folk music convention scene and everything. Met him through mutual friends. Great guy. He is getting on in years and suffered a stroke, so now he's living with his son. So I've been working with his son. And my friend's family home in South Phoenix, they have finally gotten possession back from. I can't remember if it was great-grandpa. I think it was, but anyways, back in 1946, a family built a house, right? And the family has lived in that house up until about 2 years ago. There's been a family member in that house this entire time. Grandma was in the house last. She fell ill, didn't want to move, and she moved in a caretaker who was a nurse and was taking care of her in exchange for rent and everything like that. So pretty good working relationship. Grandma died, and the caretaker asked, can I have some time? And they said, why don't you just take all the time? We don't have any use for that house. Take care of it, live in it, and when you're ready to move on, or you are moved on, all right, we'll deal with the house then. So she lived in there for several years, and then she fell ill also. So she moves in another person. All right. So that other person moves in, apparently hid the fact that the first caretaker had passed away and was quite happily living in the house until the family called up the caretaker to check on her, because he usually call her around holidays. And this is the story I'm getting. The person who's living there tried to act like she was the original caretaker. All right. So I get a call. Hey, we got this going on. I'm like, lawyer up, call an attorney. And so finally, after many, many months of wrangling and this and that and the other thing, I'm sitting there on Saturday morning getting ready to mow my lawn, and I get a call, right, from the family, and the family says, hey, she's finally leaving, and her attorney is telling us, because she went and got herself an attorney, because apparently she was arguing adverse possession, and that she had actually been there since 2009. All right, so the house was really hers now. Yeah, that one wouldn't have gone through court. Courts would have thrown that out, but the problem is just walking in the door at court's expensive. Which is why it always really annoys me when certain pundits with legal degrees and lawyers are always using the term, oh, and then the court straightened it out. Well, if you're a normal human being, going to court is not a fun experience. For attorneys, they love it, all right? The Mr. Frenches of the world, they get to pad their pockets every time they get to drag you to court. So they love going to court, all right? For regular people, they lose sleep. They lose money. They don't get to go on vacation. They don't get to do things because they have this thing boiling. So if you can avoid court at all costs, you avoid court at all costs. So they were working with this lady to get out. And all of a sudden, they just call and say, you can pick up the keys at 10 o'clock. I get to call at 9. All right. My clients are now living up in Verde Valley. They're over an hour and change away. Hey, Ray, can you do us a solid and go get the keys? So I go down there to get the keys and show up. Hi, my name's Ray. I'm here for the keys. And this just kicks off a 3-day ordeal. She surrendered the keys to me, okay, as an agent of, the homeowner. Okay. She has formally surrendered the property. All right, asterisk, Ray is not an attorney. Okay, but, and, it's like, when are you getting out? Or you're not out yet. I was told you were out. Oh, no, we just got a few things. And this guy who's trying to help him, he's like, hey, can we have it till tomorrow? Can we have a couple more days? Can we have, like, no, you're supposed to be out now. All right, if you want a couple more days, she needs to call her attorney and ask the other side. I'm just picking up keys. Anyways, so I get home. And I got the keys. And I put them on a lockbox, and I put them on the front gate. All right. Big lot, has an iron gate to the driveway that you have to manually open, old school style. So I put my lockbox on it. I go home. I get a call the next morning as I'm getting ready to mow the lawn again. And just for you guys who don't live here in Phoenix, your lawn mowing hours are about 7 o'clock in the morning to about 10. Anything after that, you're asking for death. I get a call next morning. Hey, I'm headed down there right now. All right, I'll meet you there. So, you don't have to. No, trust me. I want to be there when the store gets open. So I drive down there. The homeowner is already standing there. I can call him the homeowner because he owns it with his father, who's my client from way back, the folky guy. And he's talking to the lady, the squatter lady. And so I walk up and I put on my best conflict resolution attitude and everything like that. And we have a conversation. Oh, they just need some more time and this and that and the other thing and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And and it's like, oh, okay, where's the gate? Oh, we don't know where that happened to that. It just disappeared. I'm like, you didn't notice a gate disappearing off the front of your house? No, we didn't hear anything. And da-da-da-da-da. And the lady's friend, this little weaselly, rat-faced guy, he gets this little smirk. Right? He's got this tell when he thinks he's putting something over because he gets this little smirk. All right. I'd love to play poker against him if he actually thought he had money. And I'm like, where's the gate? Oh, it just disappeared. Okay, but more importantly, where's my lockbox? All right, so we go through the whole rounds, and it's like he's going to go call his attorney. And this is Father's Day, so attorney is taking a phone call on Father's Day. God bless him. And it's like, will you be out tonight? Oh, yeah, we just... I'm like, okay, well, this is what we got to do. We got to go through the property, and we got to take photos, all right? And they're like, why do you have to do that? It's like, okay, this is a crime scene. Right, those gates exceed $1,000. This is a felony theft situation. All right, he's going to be filing a police report and he's going to be filing an insurance claim. And when he does that, if there's anything else missing over the next couple of days, we're going to have to append that. So I need to document what is currently in the property. All right, so I'm going to record what's going on in there. I take my little phone and I walk through the property with him, and oh my God! All right. I'm not going to show you that video because I got other people in there and you don't need to see their faces or anything like that. But we go through the property and oh my God. And I start asking very specifically about every appliance. How about that appliance? How about that appliance? You know, and the guy tries to tell me, I'm looking at this appliance. It is one of those classic GE 1950s little push buttons on the top, Bakelite clock on it. That is brand new and she bought it. And it was she bought it, and it's one of those retro-like brand new ones that are designed to look like the old ones. And I sit there and I wrap the side of it, and you hear that enameled metal dong, 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 dong. And I look at him and go, wow, that's a really great plastic they got there. And I walk over to her and go, tell me about the stove. And she's like, oh, I never used this stuff. Like, I noticed I opened it up and you've been using it for storage, right? She goes, yeah, I've never used it. I don't know if it works or not. It's been here since before I got here. And I just look at the guy and I said, the stove stays. And go through the rest of the house and leave. Next morning, I got a lot of stuff going on. This is Monday morning, right? Monday morning, I'm driving. I just want my little antenna up and I just want to do a drive-by. Owner calls me when I'm 2 blocks away from the property. Hey, da-da-da-da-da. Can you just do a drive-by and check to see that they're out? Sure can, dude. And I show up, and guess what? They're still there. But not her. Now he lies to me, the little rat guy. Ratty McRatty lies to me. Just walking up, where's she at? Oh, she just went off to Circle K. And what's she doing at Circle K? Oh, she's just going to get me a Gatorade. We're just finishing up. I'm like, there is no finishing up. You guys are done. There's nothing else, she's surrendered the keys to me. She told us all right, that she doesn't want anything else in this property. It's done. Now, I'm pretty sure, this is my hypothesis, that Ratty McRatty, all right, and his 2 girlfriends decided to come back there and see what else they could get. So owner really doesn't care. The owner just really wants his grandmother stuff. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I picked up grandma on Saturday? After, first time I went there, afterwards he said, well, I'm really worried about my grandmother's ashes. I'm like, well, how about if I just go back and get them? So grandma came and stayed the night with us. And then I turned him over to grandma over to him on Sunday. But things I do for my clients, but I had to go pick a guy up. So I'm like, all right, you're done. So we all showed up there again Monday night. And on Monday night, we walked through the house. All right. And this is what you saw if you'd entered the house. That's the back bedroom. And I would estimate the height of the pile in the middle to be somewhere between 18 inches and 2 feet. All right. This is the front bedroom. What you really can't see on this thing is the dog crap from her little chihuahua. You ever seen dog crap get so old it turns white? This is what we're talking about in here. This was the back bedroom, right? This right here. It'd be so nice if I could just click on that tile and have it go straight to it. Boom. This right here is the living room. This little bare space over there was the couch where the couch was that she slept on. All right. That gray you get there, that is ground in cigarette ash. Oh my God. Like really, really something else. And this house is unlivable for various reasons. All right. Septic tank's full. All right. I know at least one person who watches this video just had a quote from National Lampoon's pop in his head. Exactly what I thought too. It is full and backing up into the house and seeping into the backyard. I walked around the corner. I saw a door. I went to check the door, and what I thought was just a wet spot suddenly buzzed, and a cloud of flies flew up and then settled back down. All right, just absolute. I'm finding bottles of, the little milkshakes for old people, the nutrition supplements, going back to 2013. Piles of them. All right. Tons of stuff. So you want to know how houses really die. They die because of neglect. Okay. I'm not saying that the family neglected. All right. And I'm not saying that the caretaker neglected. All right. I honestly think these people did that much damage in 2 years, or in the year and change it took to get them out of there. All right. I think they're just full on hoarders, collected stuff. I haven't shown you any pictures of the yard, but you can tell possibly a bicycle thief. All right. There's a lot of bicycle frames in the back there. A lot of tires, a lot of scrap metal. Look, full on Sanford and Sons in back. So I think this little team there was just basically just using that as a processing. If they could collect anything, they just throw it into the house, right? But just all the carpets need to tear out. It's plaster over block interior walls. I mean, I got a contractor going out there to run me a quote renovation. I'm pretty sure he's just going to say, just tear it down. All right. So I'm getting quotes on that. And we're going to see what we can do with getting this thing sold, take care of it. And it's really frustrating because I'm talking to the guy now, Folky Grandpa or Folky Dad, my friend, wants to go see the house one last time. And I'm like, I don't want him to see this. If he has happy memories, I want him to remember happy memories. I don't want him to, So I got my cleaning crew going in. They're surprisingly not charging a lot. They're going to get a 40-yard dumpster and just haul all that crap out of there and take it to the dump. But he's going in there on Saturday to try to figure out if he can find any more family. And we're going through piles and finding pictures and stuff. And it was just heartbreaking and depressing. So next time you hear about somebody getting evicted, all right, this is my third of these I've been involved in. Yeah, this is my third. Every time it was some dirtball taking advantage of an elderly person or a situation. All right. And this is why when you get even the whiff of a squatter. You got to move fast. All right. You got to move fast on that. All right. You need to lawyer up. Don't play the game. Get them out. All right. Because that's how much damage you can do. And there's no cleaning deposit. All right. There's no security deposit. Because this lady just showed up and then started claiming she had a right to be there. And personally, I think if they had moved faster and just, you don't have a case, get her out, and had her try to explain that to Justice of the Peace. Oh, no, I have squatter rights. Because they'll be straight up, or you have proof that you were living in there for that long. My word. Okay. Do you have a utility bill? Do you have anything? Okay. And you can sit there and say, I got grandma's death certificate. All right. Stating she was living there during the time she said she was living there. She never told me about her. And we never saw her when we visited grandma. All right. And she would have been out. And possibly that house would have been in a sellable condition. All right. My next bit, also strangely enough, noise. Okay, I'm really sensitive to the sound of flies right now. I'm sort of traumatized, to be honest with you. On Facebook, this was making the veterans rounds. Okay, I cut and pasted it out so you guys could see this. This is a common complaint with a certain type of person. This is posted in Arizona Central. It was a letter to the editor. All right, this was posted on the Air Force Facebook page. I got reposted to me off of a veteran page. Since when is it okay for Luke Air Force Base jets to fly over our houses? All right, and I read it. It was pretty typical. This is a community we're raising family. You know, why are these weapons of war? And my very first thought was she needs to get her hippie ass back over the Colorado River and move back to California. That was my first thought. My second thought is she's either straight up lying that nobody told her about Luke Air Force Base, or some real estate agent out there screwed up. Possibly two. Because I guarantee some agent told her about Luke Air Force Base. Because we have a very strict regulation. If you are near flight zones, those need to be disclosed by the seller. It's on the spuds. Is your house in the vicinity of an airport? Yes, no. If yes, explain. Right? And then you are responsible as a smart agent to provide this document to the buyer. This is, put out by Luke Air Force Base. This explains where the flight lines are. This explains where the holding patterns are. This explains everything. Okay, when you're coming in and you're on approach and you're downwind and you're on your leg and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So you can tell, hey, wow, these people are flying over the top of me. All right. There also is another one out here. They couldn't find one, but it actually shows how many decibels there are. And those affect the building standards in those areas. There's an area they won't let you build a house. All right. They don't want an F-35 flaming out on takeoff and crashing right in the middle of your subdivision, or having to pull this great Santisi out over the desert. Right. But what they do have out there is these little cones. And if you're building a house in the other areas, right, you have to have so much sound deadening qualities in that house. Doesn't do anything for your backyard, mind you, but you still need it built in the house. So this particular person making this particular statement, all right, and basically, I just want, they should not be allowed to fly those things. I'm like, I have thoughts, all right, and those thoughts are, you need to move back to California, ma'am. Okay, you hear an F-35, I hear the sound of freedom. All right, and a lot of people live near or Luke Air Force Base and are completely okay with that. And you were informed. All right, and if you're not informed, and if you're the person, okay, if you're the person who wrote that letter to the editor, okay, and for whatever reason you're watching this video and you can prove to me that you had no spuds where it said that there was an airport and you did not have to sign the airport disclosure, right? And you were completely bamboozled and you bought that house. Well, I will pay for one free ticket for entrance to the Air Force Museum down outside of Tucson. So you can learn about the history of Luke Air Force Base. You can learn about history about the U.S. Air Force. And the reason why you just need to put up with the noise, lady. You moved there. So, long story short, that's the end of that rant and my personal challenge to whoever strange lady out there is. And what else do I got? Another thing is about, along the lines of sound and stuff like that, all right? It is going back to that fair housing class where they're saying, this is a quiet neighborhood. And then I did a little rant about the airports. This is exactly what I'm talking about, all right? Noises happen in neighborhoods, all right? And I will continue to encourage people. If you're buying in a neighborhood and you don't know the neighborhood well, go out there on a Friday and Saturday night. Okay, go try to spend some time in that area. Find out if there's a garage rock band across the street that practices every Thursday, all right? And if you sit there and you visit the house, especially I try to get the walkthroughs sort of at that time, you walk out in the backyard and you sit and you listen for the sound of children and pets playing around water, all right? And then you watch them, all right? You understand you don't drive in anything flooded when you're doing that kind of stuff, all right? You're going to work your circles. You're going to have yourself a really great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys all later.